Okay, I'm back. It's another league race. This is at Britain, Silverstone. We're going to jump right into it. First thing that happens, I go around turn one, and I don't know why that happened, but I'm straight into the wall. So it's a really good start, but it really sets the tone, or really sets the challenge, I guess, for the rest of the video or the rest of the race here, because this is really my first chance at a massive recovery drive in league racing. Because for the most part, I mean, I'm not trying to flex here, but I'm a decent qualifier. I will at least put a lap time down. So usually I'm fighting from maybe the midfield. If I have a good qualifying, the front of the midfield or middle of the midfield. If I have a bad qualifying, the back of the midfield. But starting from the last row is pretty new for me. But it does give me a good opportunity here to try to make a recovery drive. So you saw the qualifying there. You see me get off to my start here, which was not bad, I will say. I kept it pretty clean. I don't know that I had any damage in this race, which is nice. But I stayed alive there at the beginning, which is pretty key. This is my first race on medium traction control, and I think I need some more practice because I think I was the 17th slowest fast lap of the race, which is not very good. But for the moment, I am sort of staying with people here. I think I'm using quite a bit of DRS right now. ERS, sorry. I think I'm using quite a bit of ERS right now. Yeah. And I think also Britain just maybe, I'm not the fastest here. I don't really love the track. I sort of practiced a lot to get decent at going through Maggots and Beckett's without eating it and spinning every single time. But I think this race really what helped me was probably my consistency. So you see, I have no damage up to the virtual safety car there, and then I still don't have any damage, but I went ahead and skipped through the virtual safety car. I'm P16 going in as the virtual safety car ends, which again is an improvement. It started P19. You see Moose behind me get a drive-through. I don't really know what happened there. Would be interested to know, but I just noticed it on the replay of the video that he got a drive-through, so that's interesting. But again, I'm just trying to keep it clean here, and I will say I'm kind of disappointed in the lack of speed that I had on medium traction control, because I understand that medium traction control is an opportunity to be faster. I just think I've been practicing for maybe a week on it, but not enough, I don't think. So hopefully it should only get better as I continue to try it. But for now, I'm still not very fast. And I feel so uncomfortable on this last turn there. I don't know what it was, but every single lap I was losing time there. I was losing time in the race. I was losing time in time trial. I was losing time in practice. I always lose time at that last set of corners there. It's just brutal. But you do see me here kind of keeping pace with Jurdy a little bit. I'm P15 at the moment. We're on the third lap. You see my teammate 2 cars in front of me, Ray. He started from 17th, I think. So as a team, it was not a great qualifying session for us. But you just see guys dropping like flies. I think that was Maple Bro in the McLaren, and I'm P14 there. So I will say this race was weird because while it was happening, I didn't feel like it was a great race by any means. I mean, I didn't feel really great about it. I didn't feel like, oh yeah, this is a great drive. I'm doing awesome. In some races you feel like that, and I've posted videos before where I felt like that. This was just not really that kind of video. You do see me run by Jurdy here. I think he kind of maybe lost the rear on that last turn there, and gave me the opportunity to use some ERS and DRS, I believe, as well, and get past him. But again, this is just a race. I didn't feel that great about it while it was happening. But then after the fact, I realized that there were quite a few areas where I had gained some time. You see me just trying to stay smart there. Felt him on the right, and I wasn't gonna. I don't know. I just had a feeling that it was the right move there to sort of let him have it, rather than press the issue. Got my first track limit warning there. which I was a little bit disappointed about because it's early in the race. Got past Jurdy, made a little bit of contact there. When it happened, I think maybe I got a little wide into the turn, but also I do think I was ahead, so I didn't feel that terrible about it. And ultimately, no harm, no foul, which I was glad about. But I do feel like maybe I got a little wide. I don't know what happened to him because he lost a ton of time right there. We went from being neck and neck to him being a second and a half back. So I don't really know why that happens. I do take some comfort from the fact that he's got a 3-second penalty there for track limits, which I think is good for me. And you see that actually a lot here. You see in this race, if you pay attention and look at what penalties are happening around me, there are a lot of guys that picked up some track limit penalties here. There were some other penalties as well. I think a few collisions and that sort of thing. But the track limit penalties always really seem to be big at Britain in my experience. I would say because it's of course kind of technical on a lot of these turns. I mean, if you've raced at Silverstone, you sort of get it. Let's see what's happening now. So we're down to 19 cars. There's somebody that was Alex. I don't remember exactly what happened there, but I'm up to P12. So we're just chugging along. I have not pitted yet. I think a couple other guys have pitted. It looked like it was Jurdy that DNF'd first. I don't know what that was, but he was right behind me, so I wonder if maybe he lost it and hit something. But, so P12, just driving along. I know Alex behind me is faster than I am. I know Ghost behind him is faster than I am. I also don't know if Ghost has pitted yet. You see another safety car here. I went ahead and skipped through the safety car, but I do show you this pitting situation. Okay, so check this out. I pretty much had to pit there. Unfortunately, my teammate was already in the pit. It looked like he was serving a penalty there, if I'm not mistaken. And if you've ever been behind someone in the pits, you know that thing right there happens. That was disappointing to me because it was kind of my only chance to pit. I mean, I guess I potentially could have pitted on lap 7, but I think that's when the safety car came in, so that was really a no-go. But that was really my only time to pit, and don't get me wrong, he was ahead of me. He kind of deserves the priority there, but it was still disappointing to me. And I really mishandled that last turn. Just not good. But he does get the priority, but also it was just sort of painful. And I'm a little uncomfortable here because both of the guys behind me are faster than I am. They just have more pace. I think especially last night. This was last night. That was almost bad. It was that. Who did that? I don't know who that was. I didn't see it, but it's a good thing that ghosting was on, or I would just have obliterated my car. And I don't know what that was. I think that was that a. I don't know what that was. I now actually want to go back and see why that car stopped in the middle of the track. I'd forgotten that happened during the race, but obviously he was just kind of stopped in the middle of the track. So that's kind of weird. But I am up to P10 now, given the things that have happened. I would say that's pretty good after starting P19. I think especially because I've already pitted. So it's not like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop here. I mean, I've already, as long as I don't get any damage, I should be able to go the rest of the race without pitting. I thought, so I went for that there. Luckily, Bo did give me the room. And I give the room there a little bit. Thank goodness he went a little wide. Oh, and I did not know Alex was there. And unfortunately, I ran across Ghost a little bit there. As I'm now watching this back, I'm realizing that it was kind of sloppy in a few places. I think that's partly because it's a technical track. I think it's partly because this is my first race on medium traction control rather than full traction control, which is what I used previously. So hopefully it should get better, but there were absolutely a few spots here that maybe could have gone a little better, I guess. But the scene is set pretty well here for decent racing for the rest of the race. Got another track limit there. I'm all over the place. The scene is decently set, though, here. So I don't know if this is true, but it seems to me like you are guaranteed in a 25% race if you go on standard what's the word, cadence, no, frequency, safety car frequency. If you set it to standard on a 25% race, basically you will not get more than 2 big safety car sessions. So we had a VSC on lap 1 that lasted 2 laps, I think. We had a safety car 2 or 3 laps ago, I think, that lasted 2 laps or whatever. So that's 2 big safety car sessions. So I basically know that we are not going to get another safety car in this race. And I don't know that that's exactly how that works, but in my experience, it seems like that's how it works. You're not going to get more than 2 on standard frequency. That was an interesting little scenario there with Ghost as we were going into the corner. I felt like I had the corner. I guess he felt like that too. It honestly would have been interesting to see if we had made contact, what it would have looked like. I mean, it would have ruined at least one of our races, I would hazard to guess, but would be interested to see what it looks like. I left in the room going around that turn, and he took it. He had DRS, and I'm assuming some ERS as well. And he's a fast racer. Ghost is a fast dude. I think he's gotten faster even since he's been in the league. And certainly last night he had more pace than I did, and that was somewhat disheartening to just be driving, and there were a few overtakes where I had DRS and or ERS, but there weren't really many times when I felt like I just was racing better and made a good move on someone and took a spot, which is unfortunate because I like that stuff. I like to experience that. But there certainly is nothing. Racing against AI does not compare to racing against real people. That can be a good thing. That can be a bad thing. It can be a bad thing because real people sometimes do unpredictable things on the track, which obviously can derail your race very quickly. Starts can be hectic with real drivers. But on the other hand, if you've raced, at least in F1 games, if you've raced with AI, you know that they all drive the exact same way. It honestly seems like that AI is the same no matter what level you put it on. It's just going to be like a robot. And the difference, I think, I don't know if this is the only thing, but the difference seems to me like the lower the AI, the earlier they break. I don't know if that's the only thing, but it certainly is one of the things that you notice. But even if you get the AI really well calibrated to your skill level, they just drive like robots. I mean, really, the only time I ever see the AI not drive like a robot is if you make contact with one of them, and then they are thrown off their line or they get knocked out of the race or whatever. That's the only time I've ever really seen the AI not drive like a robot. So it's nice to race against real people, and you have actual varying skill levels, and you have guys who are faster, you have guys who are slower, guys who know how to take turns better, guys who don't. And you absolutely see a separation when you're in a league race. When you're in a league and you race with these guys, I know which ones are fast, I know which ones are slow, I know which ones are really consistent, I know which ones are sort of a loose cannon sometimes. They absolutely may lose the rear going around a corner. I'm probably in that group, by the way. I'm not excluding myself from that. But you start to figure out these guys' personalities. Like Chris, example, behind me, much faster racer than I am. It seems like there's never been a race where he's not faster than me. Anytime that I've finished ahead of him, it's been because I was more consistent. He spun out or he got in a wreck or whatever. If he runs a clean race, he's going to get top 5 for sure. That's just how it goes. And you start to figure that stuff out. It is a little bit disheartening to know all the other personalities and racing abilities and styles of the other guys in the league and realize that you're one of the slowest ones. So that's sort of what led me to switch from full traction control to medium traction control, is to try to get faster, try to be competitive for more than just being consistent. which I think I have done really well. I think I've gotten a lot better. This is now, I don't want to ruin it for you, but I think this is the fourth race in a row where I've scored points. So, that kind of stuff that consistency is important to me, and I'm proud of it, but also I need to be faster as well. I mean, I think I've gotten 2 podiums in my time in this league. I'm surprised that wasn't track limits, by the way. It was very close. I think I've gotten 2 podiums in my time in this league, and I would love to get more. I would love to get a win. As it currently stands, I'm not going to get a win unless I get lucky. So that's disappointing. But that's the whole reason that I'm switching to medium traction control, is try to get a little more pace and see if I can fight against some of these guys instead of just being dusted by them when they go by. So this race, you may think it's weird that I said I was going to be in the points because I'm currently P13, but if you look around, there are a lot of track limit penalties around me. So both of the guys behind me have 3 seconds for track limits. Both of the guys in front of me have 6 seconds, I assume, for track limits. And Silverstone is just one of those tracks. But it's a good thing that those track limits penalties are there, because without that, I've lost 2 seconds on Nate since he passed me less than a lap ago. So that pretty much was my only saving grace here, is the fact that I managed to keep it on track. And I was probably one of the few guys who did not get track limit penalties, at least around the people that I saw in the race. But overall, I think I went from P19 at the start to I'm pretty sure I finished the race here at P13, but with penalties, I jump up to P9, which was nice, which is good. I'm happy to get the points. I'm happy to race, to have a clean race. I wish I could have been faster, but hey, you can't win them all. So we'll continue to work on the pace a little bit. But for now, I'm happy that I went through this race without any damage. I went through this race and didn't really screw anything up too badly. So something to build on, and I love to get points from the back of the grid. So I'm proud of it, even if it wasn't the best race that has ever been run. But like I said, hopefully we can just continue to get better a little bit. I think I end up going through the incident reports here a little bit, which I've started trying to do that, especially as you have to be a steward for this stuff after the race. It's nice to see what guys got penalties for and what they didn't. So that's what that's for. And then, of course, I'll always go through the end results table, but we'll be back with more for sure. So keep tuning in.